What is going on, you dead set legends, and welcome to the Ready Bang, the #1 art wrestling show in the world. I'm your host, Yossi Arm Wrestler, and as always, I'm your 2019 Melbourne Cup left arm, third place amateur, the most sorted trophy in the world. I say trophy because this man holds a championship belt. I mean, it's just the same formula. Uncle Todd match. The world doubts him, and they back the European. Uncle Todd wins. He comes back on the show. We laugh at everyone for it. He is the world champion, the best in the world. In his division, there is no one better. And I love saying that because he's a dear friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Uncle Todd, Toddzilla, Todd Hutchings. Mate, well, we're back to having haircuts to start with, but I mean, I know you knew. I know I knew the last time we spoke, but do you ever just sit there at work or at training and just go, yeah, I'm the best in the world? What? No, I'm the best in the world. What?
I don't. It usually comes up when I'm having some social media argument about arm wrestling or something. And then I go, okay, Mr. YouTube guy, what's your real name? Because I don't know why we're disagreeing on something, you know.
Yeah, if I have
Psycho Beast 11-2, you know, what's your real name?
What would you know, Todd? What would you know? No, he's the best in the world, and you absolutely showed it in that Irakli match. We will say hi to everyone in the chat in just a moment. I mean, shit, you even top rolled against Irakli. Like, are you okay, or is it just Father Time just dropping some more wisdom on you?
Well, you know, I've had enough birthdays. I'm becoming top roll curious. There's another side of my personality I want to explore.
You're not a girl in college. Top roll curious. Oh man, just on that. First of all, people don't know, Todzilla's got a match in, what are we, 13
like a week
days
and a
away against Rustam Babyev, and that's a bit of a hoodoo for Todd, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. Pay-per-view link is in the description, so make sure you buy it. That match with Irakli, it was very interesting because I think you and myself were probably like the only people that just understood arm wrestling maths and was like, well, Todd's going to win. But first of all, what was the difference from the first time you met Irakli to this time? Like strength level, pronation level, how did he feel different? Or was it just Uncle Todd taking care of business?
I think we were a little closer on strength. But him having a press was something new. He never actually tried that the first time around. But yeah, I think we were a little closer on strength. Other than that, speed and timing. Other than that, you know, I wasn't quite sure what he was going to do. But after a couple of rounds, we kind of settled into something, you know.
Right. I mean,
we're gonna
first round.
Yeah, we're going to run it again after this match. So.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, the winner of this match pulls Irakli.
How many times do you have to beat Irakli for him to leave you alone?
I think it's going to be like, I think it's going to be an annual thing. Like during the summer solstice, I'm going to celebrate it by pulling the same Georgian, you know, every single time, you know. Yeah, whenever they move the stones around Stonehenge, I'm going to pull Irakli. You know?
So how is it? So that's new to me. How does it come about? It's like, Todd, you're the world champion. You've just beaten Irakli, and if you got to break your hoodoo and beat Rustam Babyev, get your first win over him. So as a reward, we're gonna let you pull Irakli again.
I might just pull these two guys the rest of my life. That might be the recipe.
Well, is there anyone else in the division?
I haven't pulled Sasho in a long time. Zurab's coming back from a injury, so we'll see how he does. And the last time out, I think Oleg Petrenko was at 95. So I don't know if he's staying at 95, but he might be in this class too.
Okay, brilliant. Right,
but if Oleg's down in 95, that kind of leaves it kind of leaves an Oleg shaped hole at 105.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not privy to how all that goes. I don't know. I don't know about all that. I'm just saying, I see the same stuff everybody else does.
Yeah, and I think just with the way everything's going, one division is always going to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the super heavyweight guys are wanting to come down to 115 because Levan's just too much at the moment. So then the 115's huge. So then those guys that were competitive in 115, like, well, I'm going to come down to 105 and then now to 95. It's one division will end up
right.
copying.
Then Levan will catch a cold and everybody will move up a class.
Yeah. Or he just has a significant weight loss that he's somehow qualified for 115.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you'll have a whole bunch of 5 foot tall people at super heavyweight. Everybody will move up.
Well, just quickly on that, like, I know we always bring up Levan and things like that, but has Erdemies got any chance in June? Like, I know
Hermes
people
wins at least 2 rounds. I think Hermes can win. I think he gets at least 2. I don't know if he can win 4. Winning 4 is for a guy who ain't never been pinned, winning 4 is a big order. But if Hermes wins 1, he becomes super. That's all we will talk about for another 6 months. And if Hermes wins 2 and ties him up another 2, it'll be that'll put the fear of Italy in Levan, I think.
So you think that like Hermes can pin him?
I think so. I think I think we're just now seeing what Hermes is capable. We haven't ever really tested Levan. Nobody's been really good enough to hit Levan as good as he could. But Hermes sat down, got out his whiteboard, drew up a plan to pull Michael Todd, pulled flawless. So, and he's already pulled Levan once. Of course, he's pulled Michael Todd, before too. So, Hermes knows what to expect from Levan, and he's had time to develop a plan. And but then again, it could be he's just that close all 4 matches, which would just be heartbreaking. But I think Hermes should actually be ranked number 2 now, because I think he's got the best chance of beating Levan out of everybody in the world.
Yeah, I think so as well. Sometimes either other people say something or we get something in our head and it's like, oh, well, then that's it. Like, no disrespect to Vitaly. I think Vitaly's a monster. But all of a sudden, this Vitaly hype came out of nowhere. And it's like, hang on, Erdemies beat him, 15, 18 months ago and things like that. And suddenly he's the man to do it. So, I'll be looking forward to that. But all these guys in the chat are looking forward to saying hi to Uncle Todd, including Benji Mack, Cypress Arm Wrestling, Matlock, the Drew 24, love myself the Drew 24, Tim Talmadge, and Arm Sports Entertainment. So, are you allowed to make appearances but not pull?
I believe so.
The only reason I ask is because Tim Talmadge has got Arizona State June 7th, and I'll be there. And I quite enjoyed when you and I were having beers in Australia. And selfishly, I would like to have a beer with Uncle Todd again in person.
Are you flying through Dulles again, or how are you getting to Arizona?
No, we got to get you to Arizona as an appearance, as a special guest, you fool. That's what I'm asking. So then it'd be
I can't. June 7th. That's the first weekend in June. I'm going to see my dad. So
bring your dad to Arizona. It's going to be warm. It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, but that's always interesting to know. So you just have to, not like dictatorship or anything, but if you're like, hey, I've been offered $1,000 to go to Arizona State, do you just double check with Engen and Robert and that? And say, hey, is it all right if I go? I'm not pulling. I'm not after pulling. It's a wave. It's a g'day. Sign some.
Yeah, I don't even enter.
Oh, he's been silenced. What's happened, Todd? Oh, the timing couldn't be better. Todd, what happened to your screen? I'll message him. What happened to your... So he's going to come out and come back in. You've been silenced.
Well, somebody tried calling me, and then all of a sudden, I ended the call, but then I couldn't get back into my little square.
Oh, I see how it is. Geez, the thought of you just turning up to another promotion, you were silenced.
No, I get asked regularly, and I right out of the gate, I say I'm absolutely not competing anywhere. You want me to show up or something like that? Now it's about, where is it? Do I got to take time off work? That sort of thing. Can I make it work? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's really cool to know, because we're past the contracts and all that phase. So it would be cool, because people want to see a world champion, and that's what you are at the moment. Matt wants to know, can I get a ribbed version of that one handle you used yesterday?
TFCC Arm Wrestling. The link is in the description.
Of Todd's channel, not my channel.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Fishlip says we're twins. Ricard and my friends from I've got my Norwegian hoodie on, so that's always good. Got to run Matt Mask versus Todd back, says Nashville. Would you like to pull Matt Mask again? When did you pull Matt Mask?
To decide who I pull, but I think Matt's in the class above me now, right?
Yeah.
A 95-kilogram Matt would be a pretty thin Matt.
I know. Well, he's at 115 now, isn't he? Or did he make the 105s?
I don't know what class they're pulling. I know it's above me.
Yeah. Well, he's about a foot taller as well. What's going on, fellas? Zazie says Levan will beat him easier this time. Roy Baker's in there. Everyone's saying hack by Engen when you cut off. And, of course, my man James Wall. Evening, guys. Can't wait for Rustam for Todd. I think Todd gets his revenge. Oh, man. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. I just want to touch on Irakli quickly. What were your thoughts? I mean, because I'm just looking at I wrote down all the rounds because I've watched the match quite a few times. Did you ever think he was in the match? Like, I know he gets that one press and you lose a round on fouls. But in my opinion, you looked in control the whole time and finished it off with a flash pin.
When I lost that round on fouls, and, Susie goes, that's 2, you're in trouble. And I said, I am stronger than him today. I am not going to lose this. So I was pretty confident, even after I lost the round on fouls, that I could win that. Yeah. And so at the very, very last round, I just went right into his hand. I stopped running from his hand. And I go, you know what? We might be closer on arms, but we're also a lot closer in the hand.
And you took it. You kept it. It was insane. Do you think we're at a stage now? And I understand pride and frustrations and things like that. But then for Irakli to come out and take still shots and say Todd's elbow was off the pad and things like that, do you think at your level, the elite level, like just stop it? Just stop. Like, have someone in your corner to make reviews and things like that, but don't come out afterwards and say that.
I mean, I don't argue with the refs. I don't argue with the promoters. I've never done that. I understand why people do, but East versus West rules are a little different. We have a rules meeting. We spend 20 minutes discussing. They're not going to call the elbow hot fouls. So if you tell me that's a legal elbow foul, well, then I'm going to try. Okay, I'm going to find out if that's a legal elbow foul. You know what I mean? Somewhere between here and here is a foul. Okay.
Yeah.
The refs were calling they followed me out one round. So it's not like they were completely blind to what I was doing. I think the refs legitimately said, those are what we agreed to go with, I mean, if we end up with PAL rules where, paper thin elbow fouls start counting, you're just going to see match after match after match end on fouls, So, but
just looks crap.
Yeah, it's just something that's always been part of the logistics of running big events like that. And the East vs. West is going to go through some growing pains trying to figure that out,
Oh, look, I just think, they're getting a lot of things right. Don't get me wrong, but I just think have a chat with your athletes and go either A, have someone in your corner watching the screen. So, Toddzilla's got, say, Tim Talmadge in his corner watching the screen and go, right, Todd, review that one. There was a huge, there was this much. Or, my personal opinion, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You lost to the best. You lost to the best in the world. It's not like you lost to a bum. It's not like, you lost to the best buller in the world.
Yeah, and you're still in that, you could, there's not like a hard and fast progression here. So you could probably get the rematch. I think if you have the belt and lose it, I think you're owed a rematch within the next 2 rounds anyways. You shouldn't lose your belt and then not get another chance for a year or so. I think you should get a rematch fairly quickly. I also think, in all honesty, that's the ref's job. Don't complain to me. It's like, I'm not going to call my fouls. I'm not calling yours either.
This ain't one-on-one pickup basketball in the streets where you call your own fouls.
My job is to produce pins. It ain't to call fouls.
And I do like, because I grew up with it in pro wrestling. I like the rematch clause. I like that. If you're the champ and you get done, so then, now that that you're okay with it, then that's cool that you'll pull Irakli again soon. Get a chance, because it would suck to be the champ and then 18 months later, I know a lot of people think you should go back, 4 or 5 rankings if you lose the title and work your way back up. But I've got no problem with the rematch clause.
Yeah, I think if you're the champ, win or lose, you can tell by how close the match was. And Engen and whoever else is helping or reviewing these matches set up, they kind of know you lose 3-2. That doesn't move you from champ to number 10. It probably moves you from champ to number 2 or 3, depending on how you pulled, So, if I lose to Rustam, I just beat Irakli, who was the champ. If I lose to Rustam, I don't go back to number 10,
But are you comfortable at 95 kilos?
Oh, yeah. This is the weight I pulled for years. This is the weight I pulled up until WAL, banned me.
Well, do you think that could be a possibility again? Or is the level and the money matches just too good? Like if you beat Rustam and then, say, Petrenko comes to 95 and you beat him, would Engen or Robert tap you on the shoulder and go, Todd, let's go back to 105?
I don't think they would. Or, well, they might. They might say, hey, this is, Engen's good at putting together matches that people want to see. Right? Yeah. And I've never made a problem about I'll pull anybody. I don't think I want to pull at 85. I don't want to try to go down. But if he said, would you go down to 85? If he asked me to, I'd go, okay, yeah, let me have a few weeks to think about it. I'll tell you how long it'll take me to get down there. But if he says 115 or super heavyweight, I'll go, sure. I'm paid to arm wrestle. I'm not paid to not lose. I'm not paid to have a perfect record. I'm just paid to show up.
Yeah. I couldn't see you getting banned from a weight division. Which is
not in this league. Not in this league.
Yeah, which is always reassuring. Jason wants to know if you're coming to practice tomorrow.
Of course. Why would I miss practice tomorrow?
Well, because you're pulling like 12 days.
I'm going to be at practice this Saturday. What he needs to ask if I'm coming to practice a week from tomorrow. That's what he should be asking.
Jason, edit your question. Don't upset Uncle Todd. He does these interviews very rarely. Let's not upset him. We need to wrap him in cotton wool. The lucky ones with the super chat. Thank you so much. It says it's the king of commentary, the Jedi of the burst laugh, the favorite friend of the sport. Toddzilla, hello. Sir Casto says we have to root for you.
Well, she doesn't have to, but I appreciate she does.
No, she just organised a big tournament and did the press conference for that. So make sure you go check that out. I heard there was some absolute bangers. That's for sure. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Lucky. Hope you've recovered from organising an event. And thank you very much for the super chat. And then one quick question before we talk about the Rustam match. What do you reckon? Todd versus Matt 105 title in the late fall?
Well, Matt's got to have the 105 title first.
Who's got the 105?
Devin took it from Oleg. I don't know who has it now.
Oh, no one's got it then. I don't think anyone's. Yeah, it must be no one's there. Okay, brilliant. Now, was 2017 the last time you pulled Rustam at the Vendetta?
2000. I had it written down not too long ago. It was in Poland.
There was the Zloty. There was the Zloty, and then there was the Vendetta.
Yeah, the Vendetta was the last one.
Yeah, I think, I'm hoping it was around 2017. Sounds a bit early, though. Have you re-watched any of those matches, or you just know how powerful he is?
I watched the Irakli Rustam match. I watched the Rustam Paulin match. And then I watched the David Dedikin Uncle Todd match.
Ah, yes. I like this. I think you win.
Yeah, because Dedikin pulled me a lot like Rustam always pulled me. So those three matches, two of them tell me, how Rustam does on the start, how Rustam answers a top roll, how Rustam answers a hook. And then one of them shows my mistakes when I got into a hook and somebody just surged sideways at me.
I like this one. Do you don't have to say it out loud, but do you think you found Rustam hardly has any weaknesses, but a less than 100% lane of Rustam's?
I have a plan. I have a plan, and I got two training partners who know what it is. So there's only 3 people in the world that know what my plan is.
Okay. And I always like to ask, because usually when we talk about your upcoming matches, it's, no, I'm just pulling like Uncle Todd. I'm just pulling like Uncle Todd. But I was very intrigued of this one because 2 things with this match that people might not know. The obvious one is Todd hasn't got a win on Rustam yet. Wait till May 10th. That'll change. And 2, this is your first King of the Table.
Both of those are correct.
Now, I mean, it's not really the same because, they can call it whatever you want. They can call it WAL again, and you're back at WAL. But it's nice that you're invited to the party now. You'll wear a different T-shirt for once.
Yeah, I get another T-shirt.
Because we
get 2 East First West shirts. I've never been to King of the Table. I don't know if I get 1 or 2 King of the Table shirts.
No, just 1, because it's just black.
Okay.
When Core Sports owned King of the Table, it was just black King of the Table, and you just got 1. Had your name on the back, and then you
East First West. You get 2 shirts.
Okay, so you get one of each.
Yeah. Well, you get a shirt. I think one shirt has all the sponsors on it, and one just has the East First West logos.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you got to like it. You got to like it. So then what are we going to do round one? Like straps, no straps?
I
Because you and
think,
Rustam have similar pulling. Like
yeah.
you'll do whatever.
Rustam looks like he's comfortable going into the straps. I'm not sure about this, but I believe the rules are if you go into a ref's grip, every match after that's a ref's grip. And if you go into the straps, every match after the straps is a strap match. But I don't, I believe that's the case. When I did the podcast with Engen, I'm not 100% sure what he said, but I'm pretty confident that's what I heard. So, yeah.
Sum up arm wrestling in one sentence.
Yeah. So, but we will cover that in the rules meeting when I find out which is a legal foul and which is an illegal foul.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm not.
And actually, I'm not interested in which illegal foul is. I just want the refs to all agree what's legal and what's illegal.
Oh, that is. I need to write that down. That's the best. I'm not sure that's what they said, but that's what I heard. That sums up arm wrestling fans to a T. That's the best. That's the best. That's the best. Joseph is up and about saying go Toddzilla. Zay reckons, I don't think there's a rule about the automatic strap match, but there is about the ref's grip. That would make sense only for one, because like if I'm holding onto your thumb and you're really trying to yank out of there, then I don't want to go to straps. But if you both just do that, I hate that. Oh, and you both just let go.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Rustam's been pulling a lot of matches in the straps anyway. So I think he went right into the straps with Paul Lynn, and they were both hooking. I think they were in the straps almost every round with Irakli. And of course, Irakli was top rolling. So that's two completely different opponents. And I think Rustam agreed to the straps all the time. I don't watch with the sound on, so I'm not exactly sure what happened all the time. I'm just taking notes on who did what on the start and who did what, once the match stalled. So
yeah. And I mean,
it's not that hard to get to the straps anymore. Someone's going to hold on to your thumb. The very next round, you know how to get into those straps then. So, you know. Yeah, you can. I think that's why Devin pretty much only practices strap work like 95% of the time, because Devin knows he can put the match in the straps. So it's just one less thing to worry about. If you just say, I'm going to pull every match in the straps I can, it just makes all your training, all your prep, all your visualization just gets way easier,
Yeah, he's been saying that for like 10 years he only does strap pulling. So, but see, this is where I'm very, very interested in it all, because like Dada Khan, a lot of those matches were outside of straps. Rustam doesn't mind pulling out a strap. So I'd be very, very interested to see where you go.
I plan to be in the straps, and I don't think Rustam's going to fight that too much. He's an inside puller. He usually grips low. All of that's enhanced with the strap. Usually the people who argue to stay out of the straps are the super high posting top rolling people who don't hold on. They want you holding on to them. It's not the people who get like that and jump in.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. Phil Woody's in the chat. He says, let's go West. Let's go the Michael Toddzilla duo. Yeah, there you go. Well, just quickly on that. Does Michael win against Vitaly? He seems a possessed human being in a positive way.
I think so. The biggest thing that scares me is I think Michael Todd can beat Vitaly. I don't have but if in round one Vitaly comes out and starts opening the Hermes playbook and dismantles that top roll as easily and as flawlessly as Hermes did, Michael Todd better like have something else in his pocket, because you can't hit that King's move 3 times in a row if Vitaly is dissecting it like Hermes did.
What could Michael's plan B be?
He could Todd roll. He could pull Vitaly like I pulled ArmWrestler.
Okay.
Because Michael's strong in that elbow. That press of his is formidable. And that King's move of his is legit. So he's got arm power. He just has to make sure he's not palm up against probably the second or third best top roller on the planet. And that guy's got a lot of reach. So it would be I think Vitaly has a few more advantages that Hermes doesn't have. The biggest advantage Vitaly has that Hermes didn't have is Vitaly got to watch the Hermes match. Okay.
Yeah.
So Vitaly has a cookbook, how to cook Monster Michael Todd. That's what he's got.
Man. So what do you think? And it intrigues me every time, because the only person that's ever undefeated is Father Time. And we are solely relying on yourself. John's now going to have a year off. Devin, even Matt Masker's creeping up, Michael Todd. What's it going to take for someone in the United States to get to your guy's level, but is only 25 and can fly the flag next?
We need some people to stop training like bodybuilders and start actually tracking their strength, and realize you don't get bonus money if your abs show. Okay. You don't do any, if your routine is 5 sets of 20 of like 5 exercises, that's not working. Okay. So we just got to get some people to stop training like we used to train 20 years ago.
So you reckon just get them on the table, just table time?
We have the pulley machines are out now. We got all these handles. You can train heavy, and you can train multi-joint exercises. All right. We have this big. It's another thing that got misconstrued, but if you have to add bicep volume to your arm wrestling training, you need to really evaluate your arm wrestling training. Because I can take a table and put it on my pulley machine, and I can train back pressure, side pressure, press, shoulder roll. Every one of those movements hits my biceps. But if your training is standing, and pulling the cable without the table, so you feel the need that you got to train your biceps, I just think you're training your arm wrestling wrong, because you don't pull with one joint at a time. So I think you should train the way you're going to pull, and you got to train heavier. I really wish Americans would train heavy weights.
There you go. I love it there. If you want to be elite, you got to stop relying on 50-plus-year-olds to fly the flag. Mate, great sound of advice there. I absolutely love it. I love it. And Carl Becker's up and about. He says, let's fucking go, Uncle Todd. No frills. American lagers are on deck for the consumption pre-match, during match, and post-match.
Very nice.
So, okay. When do you have your last beer, and when do you have your first beer after the match?
I have my first beer after the match while the event is still going on, after pulling starts, because once my match is over, I leave. Right? Yeah,
of course.
And most times than not, we get a couple of beers and go up to the room, and we have a couple in the room then. The last beer before, it's usually on the airplane on the way out.
Okay. So a few days off then. Okay.
It's like Wednesday. Yeah. Because once I get there, I leave Wednesday evening. I arrive Thursday evening. I sign, 1,000 tabletops and 2,000 T-shirts and 2,000 cards, and I think they're giving away puppies this year to the VIPs. So I got to sign like a dozen puppies, and I watch all these old videos of Kiss and Ted Nugent and Black, and they're all signing like girls' breasts and stuff. I've yet to sign that. Dudes ask me to sign, and I go, dude, I'll just get here. You can just have my shirt, and take that sweaty thing away. So,
well, unfortunately, there's just something about arm wrestling that we probably have a 0.002% female. You have to bring your lovely partner just to get some estrogen in the room.
Exactly. Yeah, we got the same gender balance as like monster truck shows.
Oh no, there's heaps of girls there. They like the motors and that, but there's just something about arm wrestling. Yeah. So
if they'd combine arm wrestling with like something to do with horses, like a horse show or something, then you'd see the female audience numbers go way up, and those girls would all be wearing those cowboy hats that we like. So, it should be East versus West versus horses. And that would
East
be a
versus West rodeo.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good. And then we let LeVan out the gate. And
exactly. Somebody's got to take him down and tie him up.
Yeah. Yes. I bet you they couldn't take him down. That's for sure. Right. We'll get to some chat. Hey, guys, we've got about 5 minutes left with the one and only Uncle Todd. Joseph says, wish you could be the commentator for East versus West. Ready, bang. That's all right, mate. Robert and I have had a chat, but not in a hurry. It's okay. I appreciate the support, mate. Appreciate the support. Philip Larson, that big son of a bitch. How you going, buddy? He's huge. Says, yo, the podcast we got, but we didn't deserve. I meant that. Thank you very much. John Augusti says, oh no, Rustam's got to go. Go, Toddzilla. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of your fans, I will always back you in, Toddzilla. You're in that echelon now where you could pull LeVan next week, and I would be backing you. You're in that automatically. If Todzilla's on the card, I automatically book him. So that's how you're going to go. Thank you very much, John, for your generous support. Here we go. How could you knock this back? Roy Bacon says that you can sign his scrotum.
Thanks, no.
I tell
we'll let whoever loses do that.
Sorry, Rustam. You got to sign it. Is it? And I don't want to say it like in a negative way, because I love that you're signing cards. Like, I love that you're being treated as superstars. I've been flying that flag for years. You know that. Is it getting too much before your match?
No,
it's signing up to 500 items.
Yeah, no, it's all done on Thursday, which is plenty of time. Actually, some people can do it as early as Wednesday, because a lot of people get there before me. So no, that's not grueling. In all honesty, they could take up the whole day Thursday. Because you still have weigh-ins are Friday morning. So the only thing that if you got to make weight or cut weight, you are doing that signing and you're meeting the VIPs and stuff when some people are calorie deficit. No, about the most difficult thing is the press conference usually runs till about midnight Friday night, and then the event Saturday. But it's Saturday evening. But the more of these you go to, the better you get. So I'm bringing dinner to the press conference, and if Devin's in the press conference, I'm bringing 2 dinners and a nap.
You're bringing
so
breakfast.
I can eat, sleep, eat again, because he really stretches that out. But no, the signing stuff, it's not, and it's gotten a lot better. They got a lot better markers. Engen's got a staff that we're signing more stuff now than we did in the single digit East versus Wests, and it goes so much faster. It's organized. They pull the shirt out, they tighten it, sign it. It's worse for me because I actually write Toddzilla legibly. You know, everybody else is just this, you know. You cannot read anybody else's signature, but you can read mine. You know?
It's interesting because someone gave me a pack of cards, and it's funny as the time goes on, just having a look here. I mean,
yeah.
What's that?
Everybody signs in Sanskrit. You know,
they're not doctors. The one thing I do hate is this. Your initials. Like, that's not a signature. Come on, you're being treated as an athlete. Give us something. Give us something. Right. Benji Mac says, win, Uncle Todd. Ryan Bull Bellinger's in the chat, says Toddzilla, my favorite puller ever. Does that sink in? Like, that you're someone's favorite.
No, that's how I separate the people I'm going to block on Facebook and not because of Devin's. You got to be a higher level of intelligence for me to be your favorite puller, or anybody can have Devin as a favorite. You know, Devin collects the flat earthers and the perpetual motion machines and those kind of people. So yeah, it works out well for me. So
it's going to be fantastic. I'll tell you, how can you not get excited? The question I asked in the title, can Toddzilla break his hoodoo? Of course he can. It is May 10th. It'll be Mother's Day when I'm watching, early Mother's Day morning. I mean, anytime Todd comes on the show, he's exuberating confidence. So there's no chance. Give me your predictions in the comments. Yeah, man. Like, I love this time that you always have a plan per se, but it's always Pro Nation side pressure, Uncle Todd's way. Thank you very much. Give me my beers. Come on, love. We're back on the bus to the airport.
Well, for historical context, I lost every single round to Evgeny Prudnik until I won every single round. All right. And the losses against Prudnik were almost as many as my losses against Rustam. I've lost 6, 7. I lost 8 times to Rustam, and I think I pulled Prudnik 3 times. So I might have lost to Prudnik 4 or 5 times. 100%, but it's still 100. It was still 100% of the time before I finally won.
Yeah. So this is going to be no different. I will openly predict that Toddzilla wins this one quite comfortably, and I would not be surprised if the brooms come out and it's a clean sweep. Would not be surprised at all with you winning. Yeah, it's going to be great. Guys, we're going to wrap it up there because we've just hit around 45 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of the man's time. He's getting ready for bed when he leaves work. So
that's true.
We always appreciate it. Send your well wishes in the comments. Todd might reply a little later on. Mate, good luck in Istanbul. Cannot wait for you to kick ass. But more importantly, thank you so much for always taking your time out to come on the show.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Don't lie. That was very political. And
I say it every time. You're expecting it now.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out of here. That's Uncle Todd.